Hello, I'm Patralekh Satyam and welcome to my series on product management. I've been an agile coach, a product manager, a SAFe certified SPC, and I'm holding several batches in agile. Now, without wasting any further time, let's dive into what is product and what is product management. A product is any tangible or intangible thing that you sell to your customers. It can be a smartphone, a notebook, a pair of jeans, shoes, and it can even be some intangible things like a mobile app or a portal or a service that you are offering through some portal. So all these things are considered to be product. And it takes an ecosystem to develop a product. Now, what does that mean? It means there are a lot of things that will be impacting the way you develop your product. For example, the market condition, the user needs, your competitors, and sometimes, or not sometimes, many times, the government rules and regulations. So all these factors govern or makes the ecosystem of your product. Let's come to product management. What is product management? Product management is the process of developing a product from its inception to launch, and in fact, even beyond the launch, that is your product maintenance phase. And what is a product manager? A product manager is mostly a person or a group of people who are managing the product lifecycle. So from idea, how does it reach to a point where the product is launched and the customers can use it? And then beyond that, gathering feedbacks, looking at how the product is being used, what new innovations are needed, and then incorporating all that into the product. So this is the role of a product manager. Imagine the captain of a ship. So the captain of a ship has some things that they can do, but rest of the things are part of the ecosystem where they do not have much control. The captain of a ship can determine, based on their research, that from where to where the ship should go and what should be on the ship. What kind of entertainment, what kind of food, what kind of logistics, and all those stuff. But the captain of a ship won't have any influence on the waves, the weather, the climate, and what other competitors are doing in that space. Many times the product manager will not have a direct control even on the ship crew. And in the ship crew itself, there might be people who are working for the very same company, or there might be vendors. Might be the fooding is outsourced, or the cleaning is outsourced, logistics is outsourced. So product manager or the captain of the ship has to manage everything and has to ensure that the ship leaves its base and reaches the destination in a safe way and in the time it has to. Just like how the captain of a ship doesn't have control over everything but still manages the whole journey, a product manager has to do the same thing for the product. The role of a product manager, or sometimes called product owner, is to act as a glue in between all these different teams. The engineering, design, UX, support, sales, marketing, and ensure that all the teams work towards the same goal or the same vision. You can think of this role as that of a baker. In a bakery, the baker has to ensure that each ingredient is mixed in the right amount, at the right time, It is the cake is baked at the right temperature for the right duration. So all these things are very crucial. Timing, what has to come when, and in what kind of proportion. So similarly, the product manager has to ensure which team has to pitch in when, do what, and in a way that everything is synchronized, and then at the end you have a delicious cake, a nice product that you can take to the market. The key responsibility of a product manager is to, number one, understand the customer need. This is very important. This is critical, because until and unless you know what your customer needs, you cannot make something and sell to them. So the first thing is you have to understand the customer needs. The second thing is to identify a solution for that customer need. This again is a critical component. So you have to find out an innovative way to solve that problem. The product manager acts as a glue in between different teams: the engineering, design, UX, customer support, sales, and marketing. And they ensure that everyone or every team is working towards the same goal and they all are synchronized. It's very important. It seems it is trivial, but it is a very important thing, and each product manager must pay special attention to this. If there is any synchronization issue, the product will be in jeopardy. Imagine a baker as a product manager. The baker knows all the ingredients that are to be put into the cake, the right time, the right quantity, and if any of that is missed or not in the right sequence, you have a disaster instead of a cake. So that is an analogy I would take for the product managers to understand what their role is. Now coming to the responsibilities. The first and foremost thing is to understand the customer needs, because that is what you are serving. Those are the people, or those are the entities that you are serving. So you have to understand what are the problems they are facing. If you don't know the problem, what is the solution that you will be selling to them? So you have to understand what are their pain points. The second important thing is to figure out what is a good solution or an innovative way to solve their problem. The third thing is that solution feasible? So when you are figuring out or when you are deciding on a solution, you have to work with engineering teams or architects to find out if that is a feasible solution. And not only feasible, it should also be economical, because that, although I'm mentioning it towards the end, but is perhaps the very important thing. It has to be economical. If the segment that you want to serve is not willing to pay for it, or not willing to pay the amount that you might need after the solution is built, then there's no point. Any product that you are building has to be profitable, and you have to think about that profitability upfront. Imagine you're building a food delivery app. You have to understand that the customer needs a very friendly user interface. It has to be intuitive, because the users might or might not be tech savvy. You have to understand that you need to put in a lot of types of cuisines. You have to understand the kind of time frame in which the users want the delivery. Say, for example, I think of a mobile app in which you have to schedule your food delivery 2 days in advance. Will that sell? Probably not. Because when it comes to food, people want their deliveries immediately, within 15 minutes, within 30 minutes, or so on. You might want to check that if the users always want to order from one restaurant, or they want a kind of platter to be created with one thing picked from one restaurant, other thing picked from another. Again, if you're doing this kind of thing and two different restaurants that the user chooses are pretty far away, how do you manage that? So in the user interface itself, you'll have to build and show that if you're ordering one thing from restaurant A and another thing from restaurant B, this is the kind of quality you will be getting. The food from restaurant A might get cold by the time the B is picked and delivered to you. Or you might think of some other way in which two different delivery drivers can deliver both these items, but then there will be a synchronization issue. So you have to think about all the problems, and until and unless you think about all the problems and deliver a solution, your users are not going to like it, and that way your product can fail. So it is your responsibility to understand your customer needs and what kind of solution can be provided for that. The second important responsibility of a product manager is to set the product vision. Without a vision, your teams will wander aimlessly. The entire team should know where they are headed and why. This gives the sense of why we are doing something, and that is very important to keep the teams motivated. Think of the vision as your destination on a map. Without knowing the destination, you will be traveling somewhere and you don't even know where. Now, the second part of this vision is, or the successive step of setting a vision, is setting the roadmap. Now, let's take the same example in which you have set the destination. So you have the vision, you want to go from point A to point B. There can be multiple routes that you can take. Now you have to sit down, think about all the pros and cons of each of the routes, and then decide on the route that you are taking. That is kind of doing the road mapping. So you create a roadmap that you have to reach from destination A to destination B, and this is the route you're going to take. And in that route, these are the important milestones. This is the place where you will fill gas. This is the place where you will stay for a tea or coffee break. And if it is a long journey, these are the places where you will stay for the night. So that is kind of the roadmap that you have to build. After the roadmap, you have to do planning and create a detailed plan. And that is where you craft out different releases. The third important responsibility of a product manager is prioritization and decision making. Prioritization becomes very important because when you think of a product, you think of a huge number of features. Now you cannot build all the features at once. You have a limited team size and everything will take time to be built. That is where prioritization becomes very important. You have to prioritize what the customer needs. You have to prioritize what brings in money to keep the product rolling. So there are multiple factors, and I have a different video on WSJF, Weighted Shortest Job First, which is an excellent way to prioritize your backlog. In one line, you have to look at the cost of delay. Basically, what that means is, if you delay a particular feature, what is it going to cost you? And you have to minimize the cost of delay. Now, how exactly that is done, I'll leave a link to my WSJF video below, and you can go and see how to do that easily and in a methodical way. Decision making. Now, decisions have to be made quickly, but again, it should not be based on gut feeling. It has to go through its proper channel, a process in which you make the right decisions. And it has to be data driven. Now, if you delay the decision making, the whole product development gets delayed. So this is very important, and the decision should be made by the right people, not by the senior most person in the group. It should be made by the person who has most knowledge about it. Now again, ultimately the decision has to be made by the product manager or product owner, but this must be influenced, or this must have the blessing from the most knowledgeable person, and it must be data driven. The next thing, or the next responsibility of a product manager, is collaboration with different teams. Product managers cannot work alone. They have to get things done from various teams and various individuals. Imagine a sports team. In the sports team, different players have different positions, and they do bring different values to the team. The product owner is not a goalkeeper, is not a player playing at a particular position, but the coach or the product manager knows who has to play from where and do what. And that synchronization has to be done by the product manager. The fifth important responsibility of product manager is to define the success. What success looks like. There are different ways in which you can do it. OKRs are one of the most important or most famous methodologies today, but there can be different ways in which you do that. What is important is your entire team knows what success looks like, and that is how they will be driving towards that. Now, the measurement of success is done both during the development of product as well as post development. So there are pre and post matrices that you have to think of. You have to define them, and then you have to define how the data is to be collected to measure that. The product manager must know what are the features customers are liking and using, what are the places they need help with, might be looking at the customer support data, what are the places that, what are the features that are not being used. So you have to have all those matrices built into your product and have the measurements. Just for example, after the launch of your food delivery app, you want to see which features are being used, which features are not being used, what are the features where customers get confused, and so on. Now let's spend next few minutes on what is the importance of product management in modern business. Number one, aligning business goals with the brand vision and customer needs. So your business goals, they should be defined by your brand vision. If your brand vision is fashion, you don't look at the economy. Mostly. If your brand vision is about providing simple, elegant solution, something like Apple, you have to stick to that. Every product that you bring out should follow that, and that will be your business goal. At the same time, you have to keep in mind, or your product designs should be governed by the user needs, because if you provide a very elegant solution, a very simple solution, but no one needs that, it's of no use. Apple, their products are not just about innovative technology. They're about aligning with a brand vision of elegance, simplicity, user-centric product design, and even the delivery aspect, the way they deliver their products. The product manager ensures that every new product that they are building fits into this whole gamut. The next importance of product management is driving innovation. One of the common mistakes that product managers do is they leave innovation as an engineering function. But no, the product managers have to drive innovation. Yes, the technological innovations will be brought in by the engineering teams, but what innovation can help the users is something the product managers has to own and bring to the table. Think about iPhones. It was not that phones or mobile phones did not exist at that time when the iPhone came out, but the way iPhone changed the mobile market is phenomenal. They changed the way people look at and use mobile for. They changed the whole game. So this is the kind of innovation that the product managers have to bring to table. So innovation is another very important aspect that the product managers have to bring to today's business. The last thing in this section is ensuring product success. Think of an orchestra. Remember, the conductor of orchestra is responsible for making that whole performance successful or unsuccessful. Even if you bring the best players in that orchestra, but the conductor is not able to coordinate, synchronize things, the outcome will not be successful. Just like that, the product management team or the product manager has to act as that conductor and make the performance or the product successful. So today we covered the basics of product management. Be the captain of the ship, be the baker, and be the conductor. And that is what you need to be a successful product manager. Thank you for watching.